Hi, it's Jared from Strongroots Farm. Welcome back to the farm. Today we are going to work on the speed sensor on this Massey Ferguson 1840M. Now before we get started, I want to be truthful and let you know I am not a certified Massey Ferguson mechanic or any master mechanic at this. I just simply, as a farmer, have to work on my own stuff so that I can afford to farm, basically. And so I did not find a video for this. I haven't found schematics for this, anything online to really help me do this job. And instead of taking it back to the dealer and paying $600, I'm gonna buy this little teeny box that cost me 140 bucks and change out this speed sensor. It seems to be a common problem. They did keep these in stock, so they know they go bad, but there's nothing that helps you. So today I'm gonna get into this, try to fix it myself, and show you how to fix it at the same time. Stick around, I'll take you through it all. All right, first off, if you don't know what you're looking for here, my tractor, it goes along fine, you're using it, and all of a sudden it just goes into limp mode. So it will not throttle up. This is the hydrostat model. It will not throttle up when you push up. Doesn't matter what gear you're in, you're driving very slowly. Complete limp. It will move, it will run. It starts up, everything, but it will not move. If I turn the key off, wait 30 seconds, started it back up, it would run again. And just like normal for another 10, 15, sometimes even a minute long, and it would work. And then all of a sudden it'd go back to limp mode. And so I've diagnosed this as the speed sensor based off of the code and what the manual said. And I did confirm that with my local dealership. They agreed with my diagnosis. All right, once you've determined it is the speed sensor, I will show you this little unit. Right? Just a typical little unit, electronic unit. Click in here from your wiring harness. Looks like one bolt hole that's going to mount this in, and it does have a rubber O-ring. You want to make sure that it has that on it when you pull it out of the box. That is your speed sensor. The dealership was nice enough to print off the diagram for me. And so this is the front of your engine, and you have 1, 2 speed sensors on this motor. I'm going to blow this up and show it to you here as a picture so you can pause it and look at it just for your own education here if that's what you want to do, and then you can screenshot it. So with this, I do not know what speed sensor is bad, and I only bought one. The theory is I'm going to replace one, run it, see if I can make it fail again. If it doesn't, then I replaced the right one. I got lucky. I got a 50-50 shot here. If not, I'm going to take the old one out very carefully. If I replace it and I still have the issue, the old one should be good, and I will then replace the other one. If it still doesn't fix it, I'm going to have to order a second one and replace both of these. If it doesn't fix it, then we're in trouble. All right, so we are going to come over here, passenger side. This is the front left tire. Okay, you have this outer guard here. It has some Phillips heads like this, but these are 10 millimeters. There is 2 black screws in this that you will need a Phillips screwdriver for. Everything to make this repair is a 10 or a 12 millimeter, just from here on out. So I took this guard off first. It has 2 upper screws up here, and then 3 that make this cover over your electronics. And then there's one more back in here, which I just loosened up and to let that swing down. Then we're going to take this wiring harness just away enough to get into the front of the engine here. There are 2 12 millimeter, actually these are 10s as well, 2 10s on this side up against the top, and 1 12 down here in the bottom on this. These little wire harness clips, you simply just bend them away and you pull this wire harness out of it. It'll let you get enough access to just pull this away enough to get your hand down in the motor mount here. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you where these 2 are. Okay, so I've got a little pointer here with a light on it. This is not going to be easy for you to see, but right underneath the alternator here, straight down, and my camera is not going to focus. Straight down right here, daggone, I'm not being very helpful. Right down where my pointer is pointing where the light is, that is it, and my camera just will not focus down in there. but right here it is. You can't get at it from this angle, I found. So what I did is I went underneath, lift up on this with my hand, and I went right through here, and I was able to get my 10 millimeter on the first one. The second one is right in here, right here where this wiring harness is in this clip, just on the inside of this belt wheel for your alternator, right here where my light is showing. Out of focus again, I'm sorry. That is where the second one is. So if I zoom in here, this is the lower one up front here. Okay, so as we go in, this is your lower one. 10 millimeter screw there, wire clip there. I think this is the one I'm going to replace because it's just the dirtiest and nastiest looking one. The second one is right here underneath this belt. The bolt is on the other side. You can follow this wiring harness up to it, and that is your second one. Apologize for the bad focusing on the camera, but that's the best I can get with the equipment that I have, and this is the only video that's going to be out there to how to fix this. So I'm going to take the lower one out. I'm going to chance it. I think the upper one, if I was going to take the upper one out, I would use a 10 millimeter wrench. The lower one, I hooked like 6 extensions together to get underneath there with a 10 millimeter socket and ratchet, and that's what I used. You do need the bolt. I did drop a 10 millimeter socket like everybody, and it fell through. So at least if I drop this bolt, it will fall through onto the floor, hopefully. But pay attention, when you take that out, there's not much room there. You can take all these guards completely off if you want by unhooking every connection and pushing the wires to the side and taking the guard out. It would give you more room like that. I'm trying just to save a little bit of time and pull them back. I can get my hands down there, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So I'm going to pull this lower one off, and then I'll take it and show you. This is the new one. You're going to take a wire that is clipped to this new one, simply push the button down and pull the connector off, pull this out, and I'm hoping I can just grab a hold of this and pull it out. I may have to take a screwdriver and very gently, slowly pry this back because it is compression fitted with this rubber O-ring. Okay, this tractor is only just over 2 years old. In fact, I missed the bumper-to-bumper warranty by 2 months. And it did come out fairly easy. So this sensor came out fairly easy. This is a little teeny bolt that they give you to attach this thing, so it will drop. I loosened it probably 3 turns with my socket, and then I was able to get my fingers down in there and take this off. I cleaned this off just a second ago, just a little bit, because I do have to put this one in the top if I chose wrong. I don't know which one is more likely to go out, and neither did my dealership. It's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, however you want to do it. But I do want to take you over and show you the port. You can see it a little better now where this goes in at. Okay, so here is our lower port. Back up a hair so you can see kind of where we're at. Belt, alternator, right below that. Right there is our connector that went on. And that's what it looks like. There is oil. You have access to the inside the motor, so be careful you keep it clean. And I did clean this off a little bit, and we'll put this sensor back on. So one helpful hint, when I took the bolt out, I still had not got this clip off. And that wire is there's not a lot of play in it, okay? You can pull it in and out, but as far as pulling it left or right, which you need to unhook this, there's not a ton of extra slack there. So I did find it was easier to pull the bolt out and get my finger behind this and the whole cable and use that to pull this sensor out, and then I could disconnect it a little easier. So when I reinstall this, I'm going to put the connector back on, then push it into the port and put the screw in. Okay, so we've got it in. I was going to show you how to put all this back, but I think first I'm just going to start it and see. I have had this sensor go off with just idling and sitting in place. Usually it takes a few minutes of working it back and forth before it goes off. But I want to see, because I don't want to put all this in here and have to take it back out. Let's try that first, see what happens. So it did take a few minutes, but I've got the same sensors. I picked the wrong one. Story of my life. So I'm not going to take that one out. I just put back in. It is fine. It tells me that this sensor that I took out is good. So we're going to take the other one out, flip it with this one. If it goes off again like this, we'll know this top one is bad as well, and I'll have to go buy another one, and then we'll go from there. Once again, I'll show you the port there. You can see the port and the screw, and then to the left of that port, that is the connector right there. that connected onto the sensor. I left the connector on the sensor until I had the sensor out, and that was not easy to get to. So I was able to get to that with a 10mm wrench with the open end pointed towards the right front tire and work its way backwards. There's just like 2 inches of swing in there because you're gonna hit that fan even with a little 10mm wrench. If you had a ratcheting wrench, that's probably the best tool for that spot. We got the old one out. I'm hoping this one's bad and that this one's still good. We're gonna put this one back in and see what happens. Well, it happened again. So it's very unlikely that both of those sensors went bad at the exact same time. So I've replaced the one, I flip-flopped them like you saw. So now we got to look at the wiring harnesses. So I'm going to trace these harnesses all the way back to the beginning and then look at that connector, take them out, clean them, and see if that resolves the issue. All right, nothing cut, and I'll take you and show you a little bit of this real quick. So the wires come underneath the front of the motor. They come up through here, and it's this fat one, okay? There are 2 that go underneath there. One is a little thin one, and both of them are thin that go to the sensor, but they connect together and get in this fat one. Then they come up top, and right on top of this motor on the other side is a bigger connector that they go into, and then it goes into this brain. So I've traced everything. I took them apart. I cleaned everything, and nothing obvious. There's no wire cut, there's no clog on them, there was no buildup, there was no arcing. So I'm at a loss. So I'm gonna order another $140 sensor and maybe get lucky. Maybe they did both go bad at the very start. If this is your issue, I'll maybe continue on with this video, add to it later here, but at least you now know where they are. And that was the hardest part for me, was finding out where they went. All right, well, next day, it was not the speed sensors. We did replace them, made a good video. There was no other place online that I saw this video. So if it's a speed sensor issue on your tractor, you now know how to put it back in and fix it out. But what we had was an oil pressure sensor, which is located over by the oil filter. And I'll make a video on that. It will be down in the description if you're having that issue. And in that video, I showed you the code, which was 0100 on the top bar and 01 in the middle. If that's the code that you're seeing, that's that oil pressure sensor. The big thing about the oil pressure sensor on this tractor, it does not match the print. So just to know that. Okay, we're gonna put all this stuff back. Thought I'd show that real quick and finish up this video. First, we're gonna put back on our wire harness panel. There is 1, 2, that's the second one there, sorry for the wiggling. 10mm, and then down here where this ratchet is, into there is a 12mm, and that's all it holds this panel right here on. That is all your wiring harnesses. And then we'll fold these wires back up and put them back in these clips like we took them off. Next, we'll put on the heat cover back on. I'll take you through and show you all of these screws and bolts. To start, you have 2 black Phillips headed screws that go here, and you have 4 of they're Phillips head and 10 mil. So you got 1, 2, 3 here, and then 1 more right back there. And that's the one we left in to swing that panel down. We'll tighten those up and that'll be done. So this is back on. One thing I forgot to mention, these 4 10mm, they also have a washer and a lock washer on them. So if you took those apart when you were taking it, I left them all together and set them up on my panel, on my footbed here. But they need to have those back on or they will vibrate out. They're not Loctited in, okay? There's no Loctite on any of these things. Ultimately, that was not my issue, those speed sensors. We found out later that it was that oil pressure sensor, but that was hopefully a pretty good video for you. I could not even find a video or schematics or anything really good online on how to fix those speed sensors, so I wanted to make a video. I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, because I did have, a couple $100 in this and a lot of time, and I didn't even get to fix it. So help my pain a little bit, hit the like button. Another thing I forgot to mention in the video, and I want to ask if your tractor is like this or not. I can't lift the hood up without taking my front bumper off. It's sitting over here behind you. Have to take the front bumper off every time to raise the hood. That's a dumb design. Thanks for watching. If this is your first video with us, we do have a farming channel. That's predominantly, we show cattle and everything on our farm, Homestead. So check us out, like and subscribe, come along with us if you want to see some other things. We do obviously live on a real farm and we have to do mechanic stuff like this. So I wanted to make these videos. Appreciate you watching. Until next time.